on the road tonight.
Virginia Tech has never played here at Stanford as Lawal and Raynaud jump up, and no surprise, the 49-inch vertical wins it, and the Hokies will have the first possession. Rechsteiner, number 7 in the starting lineup. Ben Hammond out, their leading point guard, who had 8 assists in the win, as a Rechsteiner turnover. Hammond has a bad foot, so Rechsteiner gets the start tonight. Stanford's Cardinal starting lineup, but Chisholm Okpara is going to start today, and this is his 5th start of the season. He'll join Blakes, Argawal, the big man Raynaud, and Oziyah Sellers, who's improved his scoring as of late. That's Blakes with the ball, the former Duke Blue Devil. Backdoor, Argawal leaves it for Raynaud, who lays it in, and Stanford's on the board.
Now, unselfish play, Dave. Great interior passing, and Stanford's at their best when they can get assists.
The Hokies will start Tyler Johnson, the defensive specialist, Rechsteiner, Jaden Shute, Toby Lawal, and Melijah Poteet, who had the game winner off here, but the game winner 3-point play against Miami on Saturday.
Well, now he's going to have to go over a 7-footer, and Maxime Raynaud, not easy.
Raynaud downtown, now uptown, and that one's no good.
Well, don't be surprised to have him take threes. He can shoot it.
Shute leaves it for Lawal. Lawal lays it in, and the Hokies are on the board.
Well, that's what they do, too. They're going to try to get out a little bit in transition, get some easy baskets on Stanford before they set their defense.
Back to Raynaud. Jump hook off, Lawal with the board. Poteet thought better of it. Back to Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner got caught in the air, and a turnover by Virginia Tech. Sellers thought about it. Blakes jumper, good.
Now, Stanford will get out and run too, Dave, if they can. They can rebound the basketball. You don't get a lot of second chance opportunities, so Stanford not afraid to push.
Rechsteiner.
They're going to have to keep their eyes on him. He's a pretty good mid-range shooter. He's a high assist guy, too, so he's an all-purpose guy with the basketball.
Sellers in the corner. Back to Argawal. Shot clock down to 7. Sellers has to go. He does.
Yeah, good defensive possession by the Hokies. They did a nice job finishing the shot against the shot clock.
Shute passed it too low. Here comes Okpara. Okpara called for an offensive foul, and so Chisholm Okpara ran him over. But we talked about Maxime Raynaud in the open. I mean, this guy is everything for Kyle Smith.
Well, he does it all, Dave, but he's really skilled with the basketball. You know, he's great space. He's a pretty good ball handler, a high assist guy as well at times, but he's got the ability to knock down threes. So when you've got that kind of range as a 7-footer, you've got your hands full.
Here's what's scary. Last year, he was the most improved player in the Pac-12, and he's only gotten better.
Now, I covered him last year, and we used to say that. Now he's doing it all over again in the ACC, no less.
Lawal lays it in.
Kyle Smith's not happy that the Hokies have gotten to the rim. You know, he doesn't mind them shooting from the perimeter, challenging shots, but the Hokies have gotten to the point blank to the rim.
Lawal, the most athletic guy that Virginia Tech has ever had, didn't start playing basketball until he was 16. Grew up in London. Turnover by Stanford. We're talking about Toby Lawal. I thought this might be a dunk. It wasn't a dunk. He ends up laying it in. But Toby Lawal is a guy that picked up basketball at 16, Ben. He had grown up playing London soccer. I said, when did you realize you could jump? Because he's got a 49-inch vertical. He goes, well, I just started playing basketball. And then when I jumped up, I was higher up than everybody.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good indication.
I told him he could jump higher than anybody.
Yeah, that's a giveaway, Dave, right there. But, it's remarkable. And, again, you're coming, from London, England, and just remarkable because most of those guys play soccer. They don't play basketball early.
Johnson inside, curls everything but out. The 7-footer Patrick Wessler in, number 5, trying to wrestle it away, but didn't.
Well, Talis Touré, nice hustle, keep that ball alive. But Stanford, when they play their best basketball, Dave, they're really a good defensive team. They make it tough on you.
Talis Touré's in for Kyle Smith, number 3. A lot of contact underneath, but Virginia Tech clears it, and here comes Jaden Shute. Now the 7-footer calling for it. Inside, and the left does go. So Wessler's on the board.
Yeah, give Hokies credit. They isolated the mismatch and went right inside. Mike Young, excellent play call.
You surprised, Ben, right now that Maxime Raynaud's on the bench already?
Well, it's early. I mean, he's going to play a lot of minutes. That's for sure.
Sellers off.
I think Kyle Smith and his staff would like to see the Cardinals attack the rim a little more. They've got an advantage in there if they can use it.
Wessler inside, tied up, stolen. He got it back, then he tipped it, and an over and back on Virginia Tech. Backcourt violation, and Raynaud will come right back in, Ben Braun, so you still have your coaching chops.
Yeah.
It's 8-4 early. Back to Maples in a moment.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower. Over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? That's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's tab fee. One shot makes you a soup for 24.
Waiting for the break.
Should I try to do some more?
8-4, Virginia Tech leading Stanford, the ACC opener here at Maples Pavilion. Maxime Raynaud is a guy, Ben Braun, that has improved every single year. We mentioned last year the most improved player in the Pac-12.
Yeah, Dave, those are numbers. I mean, he's increased his production every single year he's played, and now he's doing it in the ACC. So he's put time in. And, I know his folks are up watching right now, 3 in the morning in France. And I had a chance to meet them, and just they're delighted with his progress and his career that he's had here at Stanford.
Stanford has not scored in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Benny Gieler in now, number 5. Goes right to Raynaud. He draws the double team, passes it inside to Aiden Cameron, who couldn't handle it.
No, that was just really a good look, and that's got to be a catch and a finish right there.
Wessler and Raynaud, you got 7 foot on 7 foot inside the post. Tyler Johnson spinning inside, draws the foul, count it, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play for the Hokies.
Yeah, it's a great look inside against Jaylen Blakes, who, by the way, is their top ace defensively, so that's a big-time score. But here's a post-up, here's the spin move, off contact. When players plays you and he's got his back to you, Dave, you got to gap him a little bit. You can't shoulder your body, because when he feels your body, he'll spin off you. But you talk about Maxime Raynaud, and where has he improved he's improved in every category. He can knock down threes very well. He can score it. He's really a good passer. You can see what he can do. He's got great hands.
Agarwal is off, and the ball goes off of Raynaud. Hokies are on an 8-0 run as Virginia Tech subs out Lawal and Wessler.
Yeah, and they're on a run, Dave. I think Stanford's become a little too, fallen in love a little bit too much with the outside shot. They're a team that can go down low. The Hokies are not going to challenge you. They only block one shot a game, so they're going to try to stay out of foul trouble. You can get something inside if you just stay patient and you go there.
Ben Burnham, former College of Charleston standout, number 13, in for Mike Young. As is Rodney Brown Jr. His first shot is off. Great second effort, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, Stanford having a problem getting clean rebounds. They've been tipping the ball defensively, and you don't want to tip it on the defensive end. It's okay on the offensive end. Stanford got to go up and grab with 2, and then they're off to the races. But give the Hokies credit, Dave. They're really putting pressure on Stanford. They're taking to the rim.
Poteet as game winner the other day and over 20 points, but yet to get on the board here early. Now he's calling for it. They don't give it to him. Brown takes it instead. Only 1 on the clock, and Virginia Tech does not get a shot off.
Well, that's great defense. I think Stanford said enough. I mean, we got to get a stop, and they got one. They made it awfully tough. And you mentioned Poteet not getting some looks early. Not easy to go over Maxime Raynaud. So good stop. Benny Gieler in the lineup, a guy that can give him spark plug type minutes. He can steal, he can assist. A good addition for the Cals. For the Stanford Cardinal to their team.
Stanford hasn't scored in over 5 minutes. Raynaud lobs it in for Cam, and bad pass, and Agarwal saves it.
That shot clock reset, and it should have. Dave, they're going to have to look at that.
Yeah, because they said it should have been a reset.
Yeah, and well, let's see.
Did it hit the rim?
I don't believe so. So I think they're going to say, well, they're going to look at it. The officials can go to see if there's a reset on this clock, because there's no way if it didn't, that they got 30 seconds.
Right.
So, and then he said it did. So that was.
So Stanford will keep it.
Yeah, that's a good call. And that was not a shot.
Hit it.
Yeah, that was not a shot.
No.
But the pass off the rim it counts, and so you reload. And Stanford knows that. They're good lawyers on the floor out there for Stanford.
Tony Battia doing a nice job with the call there.
Yeah, no, he got it right.
Working with Claire Aubrey and Roger Ayers, good crew.
Veteran crew.
Raynaud with 5 on the clock. Rainbow jumper, no good, and cleared by the Hokies.
Hokies doing a good job keeping Raynaud away from the rim.
Poteet trying to go at the bigger Raynaud. The left-hand hook, no good. He's going over a lot of size there.
Well, and he's not used to that. Now you got Maxime Raynaud, who's 7'1", and he's long too.
Virginia Tech playing great defense. That's Evan Stinson, who's just checked in. His first shot is off.
Yeah, Stanford very tight from the perimeter, Dave. They're not shooting the ball the way they have.
Have not scored in over 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Shoot, meanwhile, long 3, no good.
Yeah, they usually create some pretty good shots going inside to Raynaud, and he's such a good passer out of the double. But Hokies doing a good job pushing Maxime Raynaud away from the basket.
Kamen up and down, and that is a traveling violation. We will take a timeout. Scoring at a premium. Stanford hasn't scored in over 7 minutes. We'll be back.
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people like Geico because it's just easy. Bundling, for example. You've got car insurance here and home insurance here. Why not? Zhup, put them together. Save even more. Some things are better together, aren't they? Like, tea and crumpets. You wouldn't bundle just anything. Like, say, a porcupine in a balloon factory. No, that'd be a mess. I mean, for starters, porcupines are famously no good in a team setting.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
Here's Saturday's ACC Network basketball tripleheader. Clemson hosts Florida State at Little John to start us off at 2 Eastern. And then it's North Carolina and NC State squaring off in Raleigh. And finally, Virginia Tech taking on Cal. Should be a great afternoon and evening of hoops on the ACC Network. I'll be at that Virginia Tech Cal game, your old stomping grounds with Jared Haas. We'll get to see the Hokies one more time.
Yeah, it'll be a good game, and Mike Young will take his guys across the bay there a little bit.
Virginia Tech continues to roll right now. 11-0 run after Ben Burnham buries the shot.
Well, they got, they were able to get penetration and a pitch and got a wide open looking three. Yeah, they're doing a really nice job on Raynaud. They're pushing him way off the block, Dave. He's having to come way out on the three-point line to get some touches.
Cardinal has missed their last 6 shots, have not scored in over 7 minutes. Now the shot clock down to 4. No good, and a nice job of Stinson trying to get the rebound, and he was pushed underneath. So the ball will stay with Stanford.
You know, Dave, when you're struggling, you got a couple of options. You know, you can't just will the ball to go in. Sometimes the ball's not going down, but you got to do things like get the ball to the foul, get to the foul line, draw some fouls, get inside. And I think you can look for Stanford trying to get a couple of easy ones and at least attack in the paint and get rewarded by getting some free throws.
I mean, you want to go down to Raynaud down low, don't you? But they're going to go to Akpara.
Well, that's a good look. I like the strategy. You go to Akpara. He's really good at drawing fouls. And then he passed the ball out of what really wasn't a double team. He kind of got rid of it a little earlier. I think they're looking at the pressure being a little greater than it is, but a little bit opening game jitters in the league, Dave, in my opinion.
We mentioned the first ever ACC game here at Maples Pavilion.
No, historic. I mean, that's an historic landmark game here.
Jaden Young, number 3, off the bench. Floater off the glass. Young counts it, but an offensive foul.
That's a great play by Benny Gieler because that was about to be a 13-0 run and some separation. But watch Benny Gieler that sees it coming. He's set. He takes it, and that's just a great textbook charge, Dave.
And unlike the NBA, that hoop's no good, even though he released it way before the contact.
Yeah, well, that. You know, college, you still get credit. So big play, and the Cardinal need it. They need a spark, and that's a spark right there.
Akpara, no good.
Yeah, he was there and just hurting himself again. I think he could have gotten to the line and an N one if he takes his time. Dave, the Hokies, though, doing a great job of pressure defense.
Kyle Smith just looked at one of his assistants and said, what do we have to do to get a hoop? Ben Burnham for 3.
Well, and he's got to use his timeout.
He does.
That's a smart timeout. You don't wait for the TV timeout. You got to right the wrong right here, Dave.
It's a 14-0 run. 16-4. All Hokies right now.
Honey, but the gains are pumping.
Dad, is Mommy a finance bro?
She switched careers to make money for your weddings.
Ooh, the Asian market is blowing up. Hey, who wants shots, huh?
Shots?
Of milk.
The right money moves aren't as aggressive as you think.
I was born with a fire inside, but psoriasis doused my flame until I got clearer skin. With Bimzelx, you could say I'm back.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
Most people got 100% clear skin. Some after the first dose.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Start to get yourself back with Bimzelx.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx today.
When you're down 16-4, you can't give up open threes. Why was Rechsteiner so open here, Coach?
Well, they overextended on the help. You're coming off a ball screen. Here it is. Ball screen takes place, and there's just two guys jump. You don't want two guys to jump and then leave a step back, wide open three. And those are the kind of shots the Virginia Hokies are getting. And that's one reason that Kyle Smith calls a timeout and says, guys, we got to get ourselves going. Shots are going to fall, but defensively, we've got to be better.
It was actually Ben Burnham who hit the three. He has two, so I don't want to take away one of Ben Burnham's threes. Been a super sub here off the bench. Meanwhile, Stanford has bigger problems. They have not scored until then. Well, Raynaud ending a drought of 8 minutes and 43 seconds.
And what's different, Dave? He had 2 feet in the paint. That's a post up coming out of the timeout. Design play by Kyle Smith. Textbook way to post up.
That's Rechsteiner. No good. Raynaud with a rebound.
Yeah, it's going to be a recipe for, I think, success if you can get to the rim.
Now, as bad a run as that was, you score here, it's single digits.
No, they're fortunate. We talked about that during the break. But watch Maxime Raynaud. We've said this before. His left hand, arguably better than his right. He'll score more often with his left than he does his right. Got great touch. Yeah, he's going to get some inside looks. If he can get both feet in the paint, that's where he'd like to post up.
Blakes is perfect.
Yeah, that's a much-needed basket, but again, they're getting better ball movement, better spacing, and now Virginia Tech is having to give Maxime Raynaud some attention on the block.
You don't score for 8 minutes, you're only down 7. Off the Hokies.
Yeah, that's better defense. You see Jaylen Blakes just hounding, you know, as a defender. He gets in your grill and he challenges up, and that's a tough shot. But Jaylen Blakes has done that all season long. Now, if you're Stanford, I think you go right back and you see if you can get Raynaud some touches in the paint.
Agarwal for 3.
Well, he missed Maxime. Maxime had, again, a post-up position. Guy in his back. He just happened to miss him.
Rodney Brown Jr. going against Sellers. Now Toby Lawal, who's been quiet for a while. The Wall defended well.
Yeah, 2 good possessions by the Cardinal, back-to-back stops.
That was a good look.
Yeah, he couldn't got it. He probably, if he had that one all over again, Dave, he could have gotten all the way to the rim. Again, hurt himself just a little bit.
Burnham left open, and Burnham hits another 3. He's got 3 of them.
Yeah, you might want to mark down where Burnham is on the floor because he is scorching the Cardinal.
3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Sellers, beautiful move. He got hit and count the hoop. Great job of Sellers moving without the ball, but Burnham's been a sore point for the Stanford Cardinal shooting the ball.
Yeah, he's been open. He's been deadly, has not missed a shot. I mean, he's just knocks it down from 3. But Maxime Raynaud with the wraparound into Sellers and a chance now for a 3-point.
360 dipsy-do. Beautiful night in Palo Alto as Virginia Tech leads Stanford in an ACC battle. 6:23 left in the first half. And look at Burnham. He's made every three-pointer he's shot. He's got 9 points. Stanford is 5 of 17 from the field. So Burnham's a one-man wrecking crew right now.
No surprise. I mean, Dave, he's shooting about 45% from three. So if you're going to leave him open, he's going to make half the shots he takes from there.
Burnham was a great player at the College of Charleston. Averaged 12 points a game there last year. Scored 19 versus Alabama in the first round of the NCAA tournament for College of Charleston. He's got some big chops.
Deadly shooter. Can't leave him alone.
The wall no good.
Yeah. Donovan Young in the lineup now. They have a new player for Stanford, only been played in 2 games.
Yeah, the freshman from Pasco, Washington. But Kyle Smith trying to mix things up as Blake gets hurt.
Yeah, and you say, well, guy hasn't played very much. Now he's in the lineup. But we're not at practice every day, and you see some things in practice. Plus, you're trying to make a statement with your team, add some energy to your team, and put some new blood in the lineup. But Jaylen Blakes has done this pretty much all year. When they've been in some trouble, he really has had an eye for the basket. He gets to the rim and he gets to the foul line. So look for Jaylen Blakes to attack the rim a little bit more than he has been.
And Ben, back to Young. He's taken 1 shot. He made it.
Yeah,
a 3. So he's
not afraid to put it up here, but he's only had the opportunity. So sometimes all players need, Dave, opportunities. They'll let him go from there.
After all of the droughts and all of the woes, it's still a 6-point game.
Yeah, 2 possessions.
Got to shoot it. He does. Agarwal runs it down.
Yeah, I love the possession. Ryan Agarwal was in very good defense. Good challenge. Stand on his feet.
Sellers tried to get it to Raynaud, and they misconnected.
No, I think Maxime thought for sure Oziyah was going to go up because he had a clear rim for the basket. Just a little too unselfish. And if you had any criticism about Oziyah Sellers, it would be it, Dave. I mean, he's an unselfish player, but in that case, you got to take it up. And if you miss it, Maxime knocks it down. He'll hit this. He'll get you a tip in.
Burnham again. He hasn't missed yet. He's still perfect.
Now, one thing you have to do when he's on the floor, you cannot go for shot fakes. Shot fake, the lip fake, go up in the air. What does he do? He waits for you to come down. Buries his 4-3.
Burnham with 12. Stanford with 13. Agarwal, tough leaner over shoot.
That is a good shot. I mean, because he's scoring it over a smaller defender. He's got range. But Stanford's challenge has been on this end. They've got to get stops to get back in this game.
And someone needs to identify number 13. Poteet knocked down Raynaud and then had the easy dunk.
Well, I thought there was some contact. Officials had another idea. They said play on, much like the NBA, like get up. We're not calling that. And you don't mind, Dave, as long as that call goes both ways.
Poteet's first hoop of the game.
Yeah, they're fronting Raynaud in there.
Blakes. No good. Agarwal up. Virginia Tech saves it. The freshman Young can't do it. Sellers try to tip. And Tech finally comes down with it.
They had 2 point-blank shots at the rim, tips, and kind of ran into each other, but they were on the glass hard.
Johnson called for the offensive foul. So far, Ben Burnham has been a one-man wrecking crew for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, you can play him if you get to stay on the floor and challenge him. He's just too tough. I mean, he's knocking down threes from the corner. He's knocking down threes from the top of the key. You leave him open, he knows what to do.
All right, Taylor and Michael, thank you very much. 24-15, Virginia Tech. And Ben Burnham, who's got 12 of the 24, leading Stanford in the very first ACC game played here at Roscoe Maples Pavilion.
Yeah, I can assure you that timeout, his number was circled numerous times.
Blakes all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, another design play coming out of the timeout. No mistaking where they want that ball to go. They want Jaylen Blakes to attack the rim.
Poteet wants it down low. They get it to him. And the flip goes off the glass, and Poteet has a chance for a three-point play, just like the game winner he hit the other day.
Yeah, watch the entry pass, Dave. I mean, that pass was picture perfect over the outstretched hand. You pass it away from the defense. He catches, maintains his back, his contact, and absorbs contact and scores it. What a tremendous finish by the big fella.
Poteet had the game winner. Three-point play against Miami on Saturday.
Now, this is a danger area of the half, Dave. You don't want to go down more than double digits at the halftime.
Raynaud for three. Burnham everywhere, getting the offensive rebound, or the defensive rebound. His first miss, he's human, Ben Braun.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that goes in, I said, call the police.
Raynaud, great catch and finish.
Now, I'd like to see Maxime Raynaud do that more, Dave, because he's a very agile player. He should rim run. If he rim runs, that's there for him. That opportunity will present itself time and time again.
Raynaud has 6. The lead is 7. Brown got Raynaud in the air, went under him. Blakes comes down with it. Sellers pump fake to free himself. The three is good.
Yeah, how about Jaylen Blakes? He had Raynaud on one wing and Sellers on his other wing, and he decided to go to Sellers for the wide open three. Nice pump fake.
2-possession game. Poteet with the jump hook.
He's so good around the basket. I mean, he's good at a quick timeout, kind of a hockey change here. Oh, it looks like maybe by Mike Young.
Yeah, Virginia Tech with a quick timeout. Back for the final minute 19 in a moment.
The promo.
Here's Sunday's ACC Network Women's Basketball quadruple header, featuring 3 top 20 teams. Number 14, Duke takes on Virginia at noon Eastern. Then 19th ranked North Carolina hosts BC, followed by number 13, Georgia Tech and Louisville. We cap the day with Miami and Syracuse, all on the ACC Network. Sellers just hit one. Sellers hits another.
How about Jaylen Blakes? That's telepathy. Again, out of the timeout. Sellers getting open, and the veteran finding his teammate.
A 1-possession game under a minute to play. And Blakes almost with a steal.
You know, Dave, basketball is such a momentum game, and you know, Stanford was within an eyelash going down big at half, but they just were able to turn it back around. They'd like nothing better to get a stop here and maybe play for the last shot of the half. Would be huge.
Go back to Virginia. Not even the best team in Virginia.
Kyle Smith's done a nice job. This team, it didn't seem, you know, you can learn a lot from looking at a bench, and you know this from your coaching days. It seemed no panic when they went 8 minutes without a hoop.
No, but they have a lot of faith in Kyle and his staff, and that's a veteran staff with him. There was no panic, and you can't. It's the last thing you can do when things aren't going your way, Dave, is put your head down, panic, and get your players to lack confidence.
An illegal screen on Virginia Tech. Patrick Wessler was moving.
Yeah, and I give Jaylen Blakes credit because he took that contact. You've got to try to fight over screens. If you lay on a screen, David, you're not going to get that. He did not lay on the screen. He fought over the top, and the screen was moving. Great call by the official, Claire Aubrey.
Stanford's made 3 shots in a row. A chance here to tie it up. Raynaud. Agarwal at the tip gives Sellers a new chance.
Now let's see if they recognize that they can wind it down. They're not going to get the last shot of the half, but they can wind the clock down, maybe make a short clock for the Hokies.
And an offensive foul on Stanford.
Yeah, and the officials are consistent. I didn't always think that on the sideline, Dave, but I tell you from this seat, you can see it. That was a great call. That was the right call. Now you're the Hokies. You can play for the last shot, and Stanford's going to have to come up with a solid defensive
Do you do
possession.
that if you're Mike Young? Do you wait for the last shot?
Oh, yeah, you got to. You've got only 19 seconds to go, so if you're Stanford, you got to avoid fouling, and you don't want to give up an offensive rebound, but you also want to know where Ben Burnham is, number 13. Please circle his number. Don't give him any more looks.
Shot clock irrelevant. 8 seconds left in the half. Brown lets the defender fly by and knocks it down.
Great look by Rodney Brown, the Cal transfer. And
what does Kyle Smith do, Coach, to get Maxime Raynaud going in the second half? He had 6.
You know, they want to get him to the basket. I think he's got to get some touches, create some scoring opportunities. You know, he's really so good with either hand down there. But Jaylen Blakes is also the guy that's when they need a basket, they put the ball in his hands. And you know what? They did that on the opening possession because there's so much attention on Maxime Raynaud. When Raynaud has that attention, they let Blakes go to work, and he just drew a foul.
Blakes played a limited role for Duke last season. But currently 6th in this league in assists. Good free throw shooter and a good leader.
Yeah, what I like about Jaylen Blakes, and we've watched him all year, Dave, he's really good at pressuring the ball. He's a phenomenal defender. He plays a lot of minutes, so he's got to watch his foul total. But he's so good at getting to the basket. He's attacks the rim. He can find people on the floor, as he did. Oziyah Sellers gave him some really good looks with some wide open threes. So he plays the all-purpose game, and he's really stepped his game up since his years at Duke.
And great at getting fouled, too. He shot 89 free throws, 4th best in the country.
Yeah, and he's going to have to continue to do that this half if they have hopes of climbing back in this one.
A 3-point Tech lead. Rex Steiner rises up and hits.
Yeah, I think those are the shots, again, that you look at Kyle Smith. He just doesn't like, his teams right now, their ability to give up some pretty good looks. Stanford's a good defensive team, but they've given up some open shots today.
Raynaud for 3, and maybe he will heat up.
Well, he looked to the scoreboard, he looked to the student section, he said it's about time, but he can do that. Make no mistake, Dave, he is a phenomenal three-point shooter if you give him an open look.
Poteet right over Raynaud.
Yeah, and he kind of let him go to his strong right hand. I think if you're going to play Poteet, you can't let him go strong. He's good to his right.
Sellers. Already feels like a little bit better intensity in this second half.
I think both teams have loosened up, Dave. Both teams were tight to start the game.
Poteet with a rare outside jump shot.
Well, Stanford will give him that shot as opposed to giving him anything at the rim.
Raynaud. Back-to-back threes for the 7-footer.
Yeah, and he's given his student section a little three-point logo there to say, I'm back. And he is.
Lawal quickly ahead of everybody.
Yeah, no, great first step, Dave. What he did to make that play so hard to guard is he caught the ball on the move. For a young player, don't wait on the pass. You see you have an opportunity to catch it on the move. That created the space.
Blakes draws the foul. We mentioned how good he is at getting to the free throw line. Here he goes again. But what about the big 7-footer from France?
Well, you have to go out to guard Maxime Raynaud. When Raynaud's on the perimeter, you can't get there late, Dave. He's too good a shooter. He's knocked down that shot all year long. But then when you come out and guard him, he can get to the rim. And there's the Maxime Raynaud reaction. He's so good with the students here and the crowd. He loves to play the game. I've met his parents, who are delightful, great people who've come out here and watch him on a couple of occasions.
Who are watching now at 4 a.m. in Paris.
Yeah, they're not missing this. I said, you guys tape that? They said no. we're going to get up there live. And I don't blame them. This is exciting for them, but their son is a big-time player. Obviously, he's going to be playing at the next level, but they need him, Stanford does, to step up in this game, to get back in this game and regain the lead. Jaylen got caught with his hands in the cookie jar. He thought that was all ball, you know, but that's what he does. He's a magnet to the ball, Dave. Wherever the ball is, you've got to protect it, because Jaylen Blakes will get his hands on the ball. Now here comes Benny Geeler to spell Jaylen Blakes, because you don't want to lose your star player to fouls.
No, and he's got 3 fouls. So, you know, if you're Kyle Smith, there's just 2.5 minutes have expired. How long you keep Blakes on the bench?
Well, you keep him there through the next TV timeout probably and see if he can survive. I always felt you can keep guys on the bench if the game was close. If it starts separating, you get them back in the game.
Raynaud's had the hot hand.
He desperately wants the ball on the block.
Agarwal had it stripped by Rodney Brown. And Brown is found by Geeler. Getting back to that point, when you had a player, Ben, when you were coaching and they had 3 fouls, there was no set rule. Is it a field?
No, you looked at the score, Dave. If you were losing ground and the score was creeping away, you had to put him back in the game. If the game was close, you could afford to keep him next to you, but not for long. You want him back in the game. It affects the game too much. But general rule of thumb, give him a little break. Don't let him pick up his quick fourth. He does that, you're in deep, you know what.
Yeah. Rex Steiner off the screen from Poteet.
Yeah, good possession by Stanford. Nice challenge up. Clean defensive rebound.
Agarwal.
Now, good pass out of the double by Raynaud. Agarwal just couldn't knock it down. Wide open.
The wall. Blocked from behind by Agarwal, but they called him for the foul. Agarwal thought he got it clean.
Well, and Lowell was very fortunate. That could have been a push-off going the other way, too. Officials allowing and electing them to play a little bit this half.
So Toby Lowell will go to the free throw line.
Bullshit.
74% free throw shooter. Let's be honest, most of this guy's shots are dunks. 42% of his shots are dunks.
No, he's a human highlight film, and you know, when you can go almost 50 inches, think about that. That's getting up there, Dave.
Saturday night at 8 Eastern after our men's basketball triple header right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. The Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every men's game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule for the coming week.
Well, the Cardinal put in, you know, there's some shooters on the floor. Obviously, you know, you need an extra shooter if you can around Raynaud, because if they double him team, which they have done and they will do, you got to put some shooters around there to space the floor and create some driving angles as well.
Ben Burnham back in. He had 12 in the first half on 4 or 5 shooting, all from 3. Benny Geeler with a nice move.
Benny Geeler did that for the Cardinal early in this season until he went down with some injuries during the stretch. But Benny Geeler can play, and he's going to need to step up in Jaylen Blakes' absence.
Rodney Brown. And that brings us to our first TV timeout. The Cardinal back in this game. It's a 1-point tilt at Maples.
If you find yourself in a box that can no longer contain you, it's time to find a bigger box. Find your next level at ArmyCivilianCareers.com.
I was born with a fire inside, but psoriasis doused my flame until I got clearer skin. With Bimzelx, you could say, I'm back.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
Most people got 100% clear skin. Some after the first dose.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Start to get yourself back with Bimzelx.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx today.
Last Saturday in Blacksburg, final seconds, Tech down 2 to Miami. Burnham, one of his 8 assists to Elijah Poteet for the foul and 1. Poteet with the game winner. And Virginia Tech with an impressive 1-point win over Miami, 86-85. Burnham not playing tonight, injured his foot in that game, left the game, came back, had the game-winning assist, but not playing tonight. So he's out. And then Tyler Johnson now with 3 fouls. How does this affect the Hokies?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective, Dave. You know, even with their starter out, they're 16-2 against Stanford off the bench. So they're getting a tremendous production off the bench. And, you know, as we joked about during the break, players don't care when you got guys out. They want opportunities to play. Ben Burnham only averages 19 minutes. David, he's already got 13 logged right now and 13 valuable minutes. So players are going to they're going to make the adjustment. Here are the Hokies now extending for some full court pressure, see if they can get Stanford to play on a short clock.
Geeler gets it over the timeline.
But you ask about some adjustments. Now the Stanford's got to make some adjustments without Jaylen Blakes.
Raynaud double teamed immediately.
No, they've got to get it in and out of there.
Tells Geeler to get out of there. Only 5 on the clock. Raynaud's got to do something. He does, and he gets it to go.
Yeah, he does more than something, Dave. He scores it, maybe almost draws a foul. That's a great look, making something out of nothing. They was guarded, single covered, and now you got Stanford looking to play a little bit now, see if they can keep the Hokies on the perimeter.
Stanford with their first lead since it was 4-2, 2 minutes into the game. Wessler went down hard.
He's trying to draw a foul.
Geeler with the extra pass. Stanford on a roll. Young with the 3.
How about Benny Geeler giving up an open 3, which he could hit, to get his teammate Donovan Young to stay perfect on the year from 3.
Young doesn't shoot a lot. When he does, it goes in.
I like his percentages, 100% on the year.
Rechsteiner.
Yeah, that's a great defensive possession by Stanford. But watch Maxime Raynaud and how much attention he gets. He throw it in. They double from the baseline side. That's really an abnormal coverage. Usually comes from the middle. But now you're single covered too late. You can do too much. He's too agile. Goes off the glass and scores a great individual play by Maxime Raynaud.
Stanford on a 7-0 run. They've made their last 3 shots. Raynaud, nice pump fake, got Wessler in the air, then leaves it underneath. Sellers lays it in. Stanford up 44-38.
And Maxime Raynaud showing you his versatility, Dave. They have to guard him at the 3. He puts it on the deck, and he finds a cutting Oziyah Sellers for a 2-point.
A game of drought. Stanford had a 9-minute drought. Tech's missed their last 5. And now a turnover traveling.
That's a good call by Tony Padilla. But watch Maxime Raynaud and how dangerous he is. You know, he's just not an inside player. He's just not a shooter. He can put it on the deck, but here he is, the pump fake, the drive, avoids the charge, and keeps his head up and finds Oziyah Sellers for the 2.
Almost unselfish. He could have shot that one too, Ben. He was close.
Nah, he was thinking dunk, Dave. I've been around him. That's a tough turnover.
Burnham makes his first 2-point shot of the day.
Yeah, well, that's an unfortunate turnover because Stanford had some momentum, and those things kill your momentum. Uncharacteristic turnover, just a giveaway right in front of us. But, you know, you talked about the level of play, and the level of play, it's turned up this half. I think both teams shaking a little early, you know, game jitters, and now both teams are playing at a much higher pace. The pace has picked up.
Evan Stenson, the freshman for Kyle Smith, back in. Raynaud had it knocked off his leg.
Yeah, great defense. I mean, when the ball goes into Maxime Raynaud, you don't have two guys there, Dave. You had three guys around him, and they're just wailing their hands, trying to claw it out of there. If he gets the ball down there, that's almost a quadruple team because you got the baseline as a fourth defender. So you got to make sure you feed him somewhere in the middle of the floor, not coffin corner.
He didn't agree with that call by Tony Padilla. I'm pretty sure there was some French being spoken right there.
Yeah, some things we didn't really understand. My son speaks French, so he'll have to interpret later for me.
Poteet took a long time, but drops.
Great patience, really good patience on the follow-through in the finish.
Stanford by 2. Raynaud for 3. Poteet goes right at the big man, but the left won't go.
Yeah, that was a better challenge. Maxime Raynaud went straight up with his wingspan, made him shoot over the top.
Raynaud back-to-back threes. That one off also.
Yeah, you can read Kyle Smith's body language. He's saying, hey, guys, let's not fall in love with the three. Let's get that ball back on the block and get some easy looks.
Raynaud 3 rebounds shy of his 12th double-double. And a foul underneath on Virginia Tech. We'll take a break. Stanford is heated up. The Cardinal lead by 2 at home. Cardinal lead by 2, 44-42. We're at Maples Pavilion, but we're on Tara Vanderveer court. And there is Tara Vanderveer, the 3-time national champ, the Hall of Famer. The woman who retired with more wins than anyone in the history of college basketball, men or women. One of the best coaches that ever played. I mean, you know you're good when the court has your name on it.
No, it's amazing, you know, and she's humble, she's unassuming. She doesn't want to draw too much attention to her current staff, but make no mistake, her accomplishments are very distinguished and many.
Blakes back in and fouled down below.
You know, she's been a coaching colleague and a friend for many years. Dave, she used to come by my practices. I wouldn't let Coach Montgomery come by, but I would let Tara come by. Mike had enough good players. I didn't want to make it easier to scout us.
Blakes in the corner, no good. And Kamen, jump ball. The possession goes to the Hokies.
Well, they're putting Kamen back in the game. You know, Aiden Kamen can really affect you defensively. He's long, he's almost 7 feet. So they want to get a little more of a presence. But Jaylen Blakes back in the game with 3. He's got to be careful.
Young off the mark, came in with the rebound. Stanford back in one of their shooting droughts again. 3 minutes. Sellers ends the drought.
And he's done that for the Cardinal all year, Dave. He's given them big shots. He's a guy that can create space, get his own shot. That's a big-time basket.
Sellers in double digits with 13. The Stanford lead is 4. Look out below, Toby Loyal.
Well, you know when he gives you the eyebrow fake, you got to stay down. That was a head and shoulder fake. As soon as you bite, you're in some trouble.
You ever heard of a 49-inch vertical lead?
No.
I've heard of crazy stuff like David Thompson.
No, that's that's off the chain.
Raynaud.
You know, Dave, he practices that shot every game. He stays out here. If you were to come watch him an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game, he practiced that shot religiously. You can see why he puts it in during the game.
10 in the second half. He has 16. Lowell is flying above the rim, back-to-back.
Well, you can't guard him at the rim. You're going to have to go over the rim, and not many people can go up there. That's uncharted territory. That's flying in the friendly skies.
12 for Lowell. 42% of his shots are dunks. Burnham timed the block perfectly on Sellers.
Sellers thought he had a sure to big-time defensive play.
Burnham left alone. The defenders thought he was going to pass, and we're tied again at 48.
Well, the Hokies have done a good job all game of shot faking, pass faking to draw the Cardinal into the passing lanes and challenging shots. And I think Kyle Smith wants to call a timeout. He's not going to wait for the TV timeout. He wants to make sure that they get some things under order here. But look at the way that Lowell goes up and just plays high above the rim.
49 inches.
Woo. My goodness.
There we go. Touchdown. The Irish have done it.
Ohio State overwhelming.
What an all-time classic.
The college football playoff semifinals begin tomorrow and continue Friday.
Who you got in the final? Ohio State?
They're a pretty good team, Dave. It's hard to go against them. They've been on fire.
Looks very good against Oregon.
Yes, they did. They dominated.
Tied at 48 here, 8:35 left. Stanford, a different team in the second half. Blake's way off the mark from three.
Yeah, it's not, I think, the shot that they wanted coming out of that timeout.
Young got fouled, got the hoop to go, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, that's a great isolation move with no help in the middle of the floor. That's just a great finish and one opportunity. Look at it. There's the catch, the knife through the middle, no help, and you're to the rim. Chance to get a three-point play. And, you know, Kyle Smith so desperately trying to stop momentum. They call it a timeout. And you say, why do you call it? You know, you have a TV timeout coming, but you can't wait for momentum to change. I mean, you have to stop it. If you don't stop it, sometimes you become a victim of it.
We'll get another TV timeout at the next whistle under the 8-minute mark. Raynaud, how do you leave him so wide open?
And that's another no-no because he's done that all year long, and he was too comfortable. I mean, all the time in the world, like Ben Burnham, and you've got to know, the scouting report tells you he can knock that shot down. I know you'd rather him shoot threes than take it and hammer home shots at the rim, but he was too open.
Stanford regains the lead. Lowell, oh my goodness, a reverse alley-oop.
Yeah, I don't think he even saw the basket. His head was in the rim, number one. Number two, he dunked it behind his head, reverse style, reverse dunk.
That was spectacular. Young, the freshman, says, I got a highlight too.
Yeah, don't forget about me, big fella. He said, I got some hops now. And he's fired up. See if the Stanford Cardinal can follow his lead.
Burnham inside, second effort good.
Yeah, great second effort. I mean, he got it blocked, but he stayed with his own shot. You know, if you get your shot blocked, you know it's getting blocked. You're the one guy that can gather it up and score it, but that's a big-time play by Ben Burnham. Yeah, Jaylen Blakes not quite back in rhythm, Dave. I think sitting on the bench has that effect on you sometimes. You lose the rhythm you had when you went out.
Lowell.
Now, Maxime Raynaud, sky high for that. Nobody up in those clouds.
Sellers in the corner. He knocks down the three.
He's so calm on his three-point attempts. I mean, there's really not a lot of emotion. He just goes up, catches it. He leaves the spot, comes down the same spot. Picture perfect. 3-point.
Sellers with 16.
And now Coach Mike Young says, I've seen enough.
He wants a timeout.
They're not going to wait for any TV timeouts. But let's talk.
Toby Lawal. I mean, Ben, this is, in real time, this kind of floored me.
No, I can't believe that. I mean, and he might have been fouled on the play, but you better get out there and know where he's at, because he is a threat to the rim.
Throw it up. Lawal will throw it down. We're super excited about the first gymnastics meet of the season on the ACC network Friday night at 9 Eastern. We'll have the quad meet with Clemson, NC State, Arizona, and Michigan, which is the first of 3 quad meets this weekend in Oklahoma. The team will be competing in 4 skills: bars, beam, vault, and floor. Mike Young, 98 wins at Virginia Tech, won 299 in 17 years at Wofford, and led them to the tournament 5 times. The guy can coach.
No, he's done a great job. Seth Greenberg and I caught up yesterday, and Seth just really praised him, the job he's done this year. I mean, 12% of their scoring is not his back, and they're still getting the job done and competing every game.
Poteet goes right at Raynaud.
Well, that's a tough shot right in the grill of Maxime Raynaud.
Tied at 56.
Yeah, both, you know, really both centers showing their ability to use their offhand. That's a good lesson for young players. Use your offhand, both hands.
Raynaud clears out the side so he can go right at Poteet. The jump hook, no good. The tip, no good. The second tip is good by Young.
Now, Donovan Young has given his team a real lift today, but how about the Cardinal on the offensive glass? And that's the luxury of Maxime Raynaud. He goes up to score. You have 2-3 defenders on him. There's going to be offensive rebounding opportunities if you crash.
Donovan Young, the freshman, has given them a lot of quality minutes.
Yeah, and here's the look. You see there's 2 defenders on him, and now there's an open man, so there's the tip. And now you're trying to box out, but you're just playing scramble defense. The Cardinals really taking advantage of their ability to crash the offensive glass for some extra second chance points.
Have one of those feelings, Coach. We might have a last possession game.
Yeah, you don't want to have to be on the defensive end of this one. Both teams really showing you their ability.
Poteet and Raynaud. Raynaud did a nice job of keeping his feet. Recksteiner no good. Raynaud with the board.
And Stanford fortunate after not securing the defensive rebound that they were able to reload and get a stop. But now if you're Stanford, you know Raynaud is going to try to get his hands on the ball with screening and getting some touches here. But Jaylen Blakes has been a little quiet, although he's been sitting most of this half.
Raynaud now with his 12th double-double of the season. It leads the nation. Agarwal took the bump. A nice delay move, and we'll go to the free throw line.
Well, he saw he had an opening. He was motioning for Maxime Raynaud to give him a ball screen. The defense was late to get there, Dave, so he just put his head down and got into the paint. Really good job.
Agarwal only has 2 points, but he does have 4 assists as he goes to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's been a hard game to separate from here. I mean, Virginia Tech was able to separate.
Here's Saturday's ACC Network basketball triple header. Clemson hosts Florida State at Littlejohn to start us off at 2 Eastern, and then North Carolina and NC State square off in Raleigh. And finally, Virginia Tech takes on Cal. Should be a great afternoon of evening hoops on the ACC Network.
Well, I'm excited. You know, you mentioned this, Dave. ACC basketball, that's new to the Bay Area, and so first ever game. So it's been a good one. It's been a great contest.
Blakes almost had the steal. Lob into Poteet. Defended nicely.
That's picture perfect defense by Ryan Agarwal. He fronted the block and he just went up, skied up and stole the pass.
Stanford. Sellers again.
Now, Oziyah Sellers better take Jaylen Blakes out to lunch. He's found him about 3-4 times now for some good-looking shots. Here's a three-pointer. You see the penetration, the stop on a dime, the pass, and the dagger by Sellers.
Second half performers. Toby Lawal, the high flyer, 4 in the first half, 10 in the second. Maxime Raynaud, the 7-footer from Paris, 6 in the first half, 13 in the second. Already with another double-double, his 12th of the season.
Well, Dave, great players show you their influence and impact on the game, and these two players have certainly done that this half. They've stepped up big time.
This is Stanford's largest lead, 7. Young rises up. Too flat. Raynaud with another rebound.
That's a good defensive stance by the Cardinal, Dave. They got a really good stop. They got a good challenge, and they cleaned up the defensive, the miss. So great job giving themselves an opportunity to extend this lead.
Raynaud double team. Kicks it all the way across court. Agarwal no good. Young, the freshman, with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, huge rebound. Maxime Raynaud with the double, even triple team. He finds guys, and they do a good job of rotating the ball.
Blakes draws the contact. Nobody better at getting to the free throw line.
No, what he does, Dave, is he's really good at angling. He doesn't go flush into you. He goes across your body, so you've got to take a piece of him with you, and that's why he's able to draw the fouls. A really good point for young players. You don't go square, you kind of go and you glide, and he does a good job of getting his defender, kind of putting him in jail, as they say.
He's 5 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Here's Sunday's ACC Network Women's Basketball Quadruple Header featuring 3 top 20 teams. Number 14, Duke, takes on Virginia at noon Eastern. Then 19th ranked North Carolina hosts BC, followed by number 13, Georgia Tech and Louisville. And we cap the day with Miami and Syracuse. A 9-0 Stanford run, 65-56. Vatek needs to do something on this possession. Young off, Lawal above everybody, and then he landed on Blakes.
Yeah, that's a good call, Dave, because he went up clean for the rebound, and the defender came underneath him and rooted him out. And so the fans aren't going to like it, but that's the right call if we can see it. I mean, and what an offensive rebound. Look at you talk about skying. I mean, look at that. Yeah, you can see him moving under.
It's the right call. 4 fouls on Blakes.
But how hard is it to keep away from the rim? It's an impossible task. He plays high above the rim.
Young, all kinds of contact, and lays it in.
Yeah, referee's letting him play a little bit, but that's good. Now, here's an area Stanford's got to worry about because it's a 2-possession game. They cannot relax here. They need to have good offensive possessions where they get good looks to the basket.
Young, the freshman, back out to Sellers. Off the foot, and Stanford keeps it.
Well, they're going to want to review this, which they can under 2 minutes. A new rule, I like it. Might reverse the call. It's got to be overwhelming evidence, but it's also a free timeout.
On the forward Stanford ball is under review.
I like the review call. I think teams are smart to use it, and while they're reviewing it, much needed timeout, and it is a free one. But here's the play. Yeah, it looks like it was pretty clear.
Off Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but I like the review, and as I mentioned, Mike Young getting a little bit of an opportunity to get his guys there and coach his team down the stretch. And what a great job he's done. But, you know, let's not go to sleep on what Kyle Smith has done, because his team was in trouble. They were down double digits, and he's brought his team all the way back. Had to use some timeouts, had to put some guys in the game that haven't played very much this year. Donovan Young, for one, who's just had an outstanding performance. And he's had to play with Jaylen Blakes on the bench. So the former Pac-12 Coach of the Year last year, no secret to success. Kyle Smith, he's been around. He's a veteran coach, and he's having to earn it. This has not been an easy game for him.
I like the fact, too, we talked about Raynaud, only 6 in the first half, Ben. I feel like he didn't force it in the second half.
The ruling
he let
before
it
it's
come
confirmed.
to him,
Stanford ball, game
he's
clock
a
will
really
be set to
unselfish player
143. Stanford in the backcourt.
He's a smart player, but he did let the game come to him, and it's showing up right now. But if you're, you're Virginia Tech, you want to see if you can get a stop here and then close the gap.
Let's go, Stanford!
Blakes, no good. Got the shot off. Stanford gets a fresh 20.
Yeah, huge offensive tip back. That's what you're taught to do, tip it out. And it worked to perfection. Now a brand new shot clock. Jaylen Blakes, sure with the basketball. They'll try to whittle the clock down.
Raynaud, that's going to be short, but it went right to Argwall. He missed it. Young, the freshman, tried to tip it. Stanford back-to-back offensive rebound.
I like Ryan Argwall. He's so slippery. He's long. He's rangy, and he knows where to go, Dave. He's got a great radar for the ball, but those are really huge offensive rebounds.
I mean, the one thing you can't do if you're Virginia Tech right now is give Stanford a second chance.
And I think they were leaking out a little bit. You know, they're playing again with a man down. They've got some interesting combinations out. They're giving you a game effort, but they're having to play with combinations they're probably not used to playing with, with their point guard out right now. If you're Stanford, the last thing you want to do is foul, stop the clock, and give up an opportunity for Virginia Tech to get back in this game with a short stop clock and a free throws.
Agarwal 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and they haven't been close.
Yeah, he's steady.
Stanford up by 9, only a minute left. Agarwal they tried the lob to Lual, and he was too far away, but he got fouled.
Yeah, and again, that's a good target because he's so tough to play down there. He goes up above the rim. You're not going to keep him company. I'm sorry. He's up there flying by himself. He's flying solo. And so that's a smart play. His teammates know that. They throw to the rim. Nobody else can go up there and get it. So now here's what the Hokies want to do. They want to stop the clock and climb back in this game with over a minute to play. Plenty of time.
Lual's made both his free throws. And that's the jinx. Now 2 for 3.
I didn't say it.
Second one good, 15 for Lual.
And here's the press. Plenty of time back in this game. If you're Stanford, you must secure the ball. You've got the jump ball arrow. Take a jump ball. Get tied up.
Sellers breaks the double team, gets it to Blakes. Young smartly pulls it out.
Really smart play by the seldom used Donovan Young.
Here comes the double team.
Yeah,
and Blakes is fouled.
Yeah, you have to stop and play the foul game now. Not enough possessions, but you've got to say, really give Stanford credit. I mean, they're playing against a really fired up Hokie squad that gave Stanford everything they wanted in the first half. They were down deep, double digits, and they've come back, and they've done that. With Jaylen Blakes and foul troubles, come back now to give his team some much-needed baskets. Maxime Raynaud, great second half by him. Oziyah Sellers, they've got some balance on this team. The Cardinals do.
Blakes has 15 points. He has 6 assists. Now 16 points.
That's the Jaylen Blakes that Stanford knows.
Virginia Tech's got to shoot. Impressive comeback by Stanford after that terrible first half drop.
No, and that they've earned this one. Nothing easy about this playing the Hokies. Hokies have been game. They put forth a great effort, but Stanford just a better second half.
Burnham no good on the release, and another rebound by Raynaud, and then the foul by Jason Shoot on Blakes, and Blakes will go back to the free throw line.
We mentioned this earlier, and I think it's worth mentioning again, Dave. You're talking about a Hokie team that only returned 12% of their scoring. Now, many teams in the country, that's about as low a percentage as you could have. Yet Mike Young has put a competitive team on the floor, and he had the lead for a good portion of this game. So that's a building block for his team, and he'll get his starting point guard back, hopefully, to come back. So this is still a statement game and a game you can build on. But now they got to go back across the bay and play Cal, who's going to be hungry as well. No rest stops in this league, for sure.
Blake's game impressive when you think he played a lot of it with 3 and 4 fouls.
Now, he showed a lot of patience, good discipline in the second half.
Raynaud.
Yeah, they'll let this go out.
Been dominating the rebound.
But this is a hard-earned victory by the Stanford Cardinal, and they can take this into Saturday's matchup, obviously, with Virginia. But good second half by the Cardinal. It was their half.
An impressive comeback win by the Stanford Cardinal. Ben Braun, I think this Stanford